Law and order are the medicine of the body politic. And when the body politic gets sick, it must be administered. So said Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. A warm good morning to one and all, especially our administrator, Reverend Father Rijo Thomas OIC, our principal, Ms. Sindhu Pillai, and our vice principal, Reverend Father Daniel Jeevan OIC, teachers, non-teaching staffs, and all my dear friends. On this auspicious day, let us remember every Indian who has contributed in making India a republic. Let us also remember every human who fought for the freedom of India. On this day, we, the MIBS family, presents an array of programs. Let's begin.
Good morning everyone. Today I am here to talk about women's suffrage movement in India. First of all, let us talk about the term suffrage. The term suffrage means the right to vote in political elections. So women's suffrage means that giving women the right to cast their votes. So what led to the protests of women's suffrage movement? This movement was fought for Indian women's right to political enfranchisement in colonial India under British rule. Beyond the suffrage, this movement was fighting for women's right to stand for and hold offices during the colonial era. The one who commenced or started the women's suffrage movement was Sarojini Naidu. Next, we are going to discuss about some of the important dates in the movement, such as 1920, 1927 and 1929. As a result of these movements, in 1920, the Kingdom of Travancore and the Jhalawar state granted women the right to vote. In 1927, women gained enfranchisement in the central provinces. Women gained enfranchisement in Bihar and Orissa province in 1929. How does the Constitution protect women's rights? The Indian Constitution guarantees all Indian women equality, no discrimination by the state, and equality of opportunity and equal pay for equal work. With this, I would like to conclude my words. I hope that all understood about women's suffrage movement. Thank you.
Good morning to one and all. Today I am here to talk about the amendments of our constitution. What are amendments? Amendments are the changes that are made in our constitution from time to time. Similarly, amending the constitution is a process of adding changes to the constitution. There are 105 amendments in our constitution. Some of them are very important. Today we will discuss 4 of them. The first amendment guarantees freedom for religion, expression, assembly and the right to petition. Guarantees the freedom of expression by prohibiting the Congress from restricting the press or the rights of the citizen to speak freely. Is the 5th Amendment. In criminal cases, the 5th Amendment guarantees the right to grand jury. It forbids double jeopardy and also protects against self-incrimination. This amendment also permits the President to extend the prescribed limit and also prohibit any bill from being introduced in the Parliament. Next is the 6th Amendment. The 6th Amendment guarantees the right to criminal defendants along with the right to public trials without unnecessary delays, the right to lawyers, the right for an impartial jury, the right to know who your accusers are, and the right to know the nature of charges on you and the evidences against you. And finally to the last amendment, that is the 26th Amendment. In 28 December 1971, the abolition of the privy purse paid to the former rulers of the princely state who were incorporated into the Indian Republic. With this, I would like to conclude this presentation. Thank you and have a nice day.
The features of Indian Constitution. The Constitution is a fundamental law of country that reflects the fundamental principles on which the government of the country is based. In this article, learn some of the interesting features of Indian Constitution. The Indian Constitution is one of the bulkiest constitution of the world, comprising of 395 articles, 22 parts, and 12 schedules. The Indian Constitution is a combination of rigidity and flexibility. The Indian Constitution provides for a parliamentary system of government. The Constitution describes India as a union of states. The Indian Constitution provides an elaborate list of fundamental rights to the citizens of India. The Indian Constitution mentions certain directive principles of state policy. The Constitution makes India a secular state. The Constitution provides an independent judiciary. The Indian Constitution provides a single citizenship. The Indian Constitution provides a bicameral legislature at center consisting of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. The Constitution vests extraordinary powers known as emergency powers in the hand of President. The Constitution makes a special provisions for minorities.
A warm welcome to One Honorable Present Day. I am Jiffin. Today I am going to present you the aspects of our Constitution. Without wasting our time, we can move on to the presentation. What is a Constitution? A Constitution is a body of doctrines or practices that form the important organizing principles of a political state. A Constitution is a set of fundamental laws or established precedents that constitute the legal basis of a polity organization or other type of entity. It determines how a state should be governed. In some countries such as United States, the Constitution is written in specific documents. In other such countries like United Kingdom, it is a collection of specific documents, statutes, and traditional practices that are generally accepted by the political matters. Why Constitution is important? What is the importance of Constitution in our country? The Constitution ensures the state powers dispersed between the individuals and bodies, and citizens' rights are upheld. So the Constitution is important for the governance in a country, for which is essential for everyone's needs are addressed. Constitution is important for the basis of any country without any bias. So now we can discuss about the preamble of our Indian Constitution. A preamble of our country determines that India should be a sovereign, secular, socialist and a democratic republic country. The preamble states that to secure to all citizens justice, equality, liberty and fraternity. Moving on, now we can discuss about some features that was borrowed by our Indian Constitution from other countries. The Indian Constitution is unique in its content and spirit, although it had borrowed some of the best features of the constitutions around the world. It includes parliamentary rules, rule of law, legislative procedure, single citizenship, then cabinet system, the fundamental duties, concept of republic, the ideals of liberty, equality and fraternity, the preamble of the Constitution, the impeachment of president and the fundamental rights. Next, why do we need a constitution? Is it necessary for having a constitution in our country? It is a big yes. We must need a constitution to govern our states and union territories properly. It generates a degree of trust and coordination for different types of people. It is necessary to control the powers of the elected officials or it will be misused. It tells us what are the rights of the citizens. It defines the nature of the country's political system that runs the nation. Constitutional law addresses the use and misuse of the government powers. By concluding and winding up this session, thank you and have a nice day.
The Constituent Assembly of India was elected to frame the Constitution of India. It was elected by the Provincial Assembly. Following India's independence from British government in 1947, its members served as the nation's first parliament. An idea for a Constituent Assembly was proposed in 1934 by M.N. Roy, a pioneer of communist movement in India and an advocate of radical democracy. It became an official demand of the International Congress in 1935. The International Congress held its sessions at Lucknow on April 1936, presided by Jawaharlal Nehru. The official demand for Constituent Assembly was raised and Government of India Act 1935 was rejected as it imposed the constitution which was against the will of the Indians. C. Rajagopalachari voiced the demand for a Constituent Assembly on 15 November 1939 based on adult franchise and was accepted by the British in August 1940. On 8 August 1940, a statement was made by Viceroy Lord Lytton Glow about the expansion of the Governor-General's Executive Council and the establishment of a War Advisory Council. This offer, known as the August Offer, included giving full weight to the minority options and allowing Indians to draft their own constitution. Under the Cabinet Mission Plan of 1946, elections were held for the first time for the Constituent Assembly. The Constitution of India was drafted by the Constituent Assembly and it was implemented under the Cabinet Mission Plan of 16 May 1946. The members of the Constituent Assembly were elected by the Provincial Assemblies by a single transferable vote system of proportional representation. The total membership of the Constituent Assembly was 389, of which 292 were representatives of the provinces, 93 represented the princely states, and 4 were from Chief Commissioner provinces of Delhi, Amjar Mewara, Coorg, and British Balochistan. The elections for the 296 seats assigned to the British Indian provinces were completed by August 1946. Congress won 208 seats and the Muslim League 73. After this election, the Muslim League refused to cooperate with the Congress and the political situation deteriorated. Hindu-Muslim riots began and the Muslim League demanded a separate Constituent Assembly for Muslims in India. On 3rd June 1947, Lord Mountbatten, the last British Governor-General of India, announced his intention to scrap the Cabinet Mission Plan. This culminated in the Indian Independence Act 1947 and the separate nations of India and Pakistan. The Indian Independence Act was passed on 18 July 1947 and although it was earlier declared that India would become independent in June 1948. This event led to the independence of 15 August 1947. The Constituent Assembly met for the first time on 9 December 1946, resembling on 14 August 1947 as the sovereign body and successor of the British Parliament authority in India. As a result of the partition, a separate Constituent Assembly of Pakistan was established on 3rd June 1947. The membership of the Constituent Assembly was 299 after organization and it met on 31st December 1947. The constitution was drafted by 299 delegates from different caste, region and gender. These delegates sat over 3 years and discussed what the constitution should contain and what law should be included. The drafting committee of the constitution was chaired by B.R. Ambedkar.
Good morning. Today I am going to talk about the fundamental rights and duties of Indian Constitution. Rights and duties. Rights are the basic human freedoms that every Indian citizen has to enjoy for a proper and harmonious development of personality. These rights are applied to all citizens no matter what religion he or she is, irrespective of caste, creed, color or gender. Whereas duties are the moral obligations of all Indian citizens to help to promote a spirit of patriotism and uplift the unity of India. Both rights and duties help our life to move smoothly. Life becomes smoother and better if rights and duties go hand in hand and become complementary to each other. Fundamental rights ensure civil liberties such that all Indians can lead their life in peace and harmony as Indian citizens. And these fundamental rights are consigns of Indian Constitution, or we can say that these are the core of Indian Constitution. For fundamental rights protect citizens against the arbitrary and absolute exercise of power by the state as well as other individuals. These rights are fundamental because of two reasons. First, these are mentioned in Constitution, which guarantees them. Secondly, these are justiciable, that is, they are enforceable through courts. Fundamental rights must be blinding upon the authorities that have got the power to make laws. Like government has the immense and supreme power, but fundamental rights should blind upon as it protects each individual citizens. Fundamental rights. There are few fundamental rights documented by the Constitution of India, such as right to equality, right to freedom and information, right to education, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, right to property has been deleted in 1976, cultural and education rights, right to constitutional remedies. The duties. There are some duties that we should do for our nation. Firstly, to abide by Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions. We should respect national anthem and our national flag. Secondly, to cherish and follow the ideals of our national struggle for freedom. Thirdly, to protect sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Fourthly, we must help the government in our own ways in the time of danger. Fifth one, to promote harmony and common brotherhood among all the people of India. To promote and improve the natural environment and to preserve and protect the rich heritage of our composite culture. Differences between fundamental rights and fundamental duties. Firstly, fundamental rights applies to both citizens and foreigners, whereas the fundamental duties applies only to citizens. Secondly, fundamental rights are justiciable in nature, that is, they are enforceable through courts, whereas fundamental duties are non-justiciable in nature, that is, they are not enforceable through courts if they are not followed. Fundamental rights are legal sanction and direct enforcement, whereas fundamental duties lack legal sanction and direct enforcement if it wants via proper legislation. Fundamental rights have impact on the government, whereas fundamental duties have impact on citizens. Lastly, rights are what we want others to do for us, whereas the duties are those which we should perform for others. Thank you.
Greetings of the day. Happy Constitution Day. Justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. May our dream of a new tomorrow come true for us. The difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing would suffice to solve most of the problems in the world. We all are living in India independently because of the rulers set by the Constituent Assembly. I thank all of them. I, Gia Jose, on behalf of Marivanius Bethany School and the entire management, first of all, I extend my most sincere thanks to the Lord Almighty for making today's program a resounding success. With His blessings and grace, we were able to make the program what it was. And special thanks to our administrator, Reverend Father Riju Thomas OIC, our beloved principal, Ms. Sindhu Pillai Bursa, Reverend Father Daniel Jeevan OIC, and teachers Santosh Jacob Sir, Ms. Sudipi Tankachan Ma'am, and all crew members behind this program. And at last, I would also like to thank all the subscribers of MIBS. Thank you.